So, guys,
In our previous sessions, we were discussing about before business tools. Okay. In our previous sessions, we were discussing about before business tools. Guys, as you all know, business tools run whenever record. It's a server side script. When record created, updated, queried, deleted, business tools will run. Business tools will run. Okay. So there are four types of business tools is what we discussed. Before, after, sync, and display. Okay. So before business tools run, before the data gets stored into the database, after the record created or updated or queried or deleted, and before the data gets stored into the database, before business tools will run is what we discussed. Okay. So as I mentioned already yesterday, as I mentioned in our previous session, in place of on change client script, on change client scripts will work only from the farm, guys. Okay. Client scripts UI policies will work only from the farm. Okay. So if you want to if you want the logic to be worked from all the sources, then you will use before business tools. So before business tool will work from all the sources or not? Now you guys answer me. Before business tool will work from all the sources or not, guys? Okay. So let us discuss about on submit line script. So on submit line script will work only from the form. Whereas before business tool will work from all the sources. Before business tool will stop the data processing into the database. Before business tool will stop the data processing into database. Okay. So we have discussed about before business tools. Before business tools will run before the data gets stored into the database. So let me just go to the whiteboard. Okay. So you will submit the form. Once you submit the form, first before business tools will run, then data gets stored into the database. Okay. After business tools will run, after data is getting stored into the database. Remember this point. After business tools will run, after the data gets stored into the database. So this is very important point. So before business tools will run, before the data gets stored into the database, after business tools will run, once the data gets stored into the database. Okay. Well, guys, here remember before business tools, before business tools are used to to before business tools are used to update the current records, update the use update or create. See, before business tools are used for current record. In other words, we can say current record. So for this particular record, what I will let us say, let me just open HR case. Okay. So only to update this particular number 1437 record, only to update this particular record, we have to use before business tool. Okay. Only to update the current record. This is the current record, guys. Okay. Right click configure business rules. Let me make it active. So before business rules are used to update the same record, 1437 record. To update the same record, we will use before business rule. So let me just attach the attachment. So always remember, before business rule is used, mostly used for to update the same record. Okay, to stop the same record creation. So we will be using before business rule. Okay, just to save this one. Now it will allow you to save the form. And once a HR case record created into the database successfully, then after business rules will run. Remember this point. Once a HR case successfully created into the database, then after business rules will run. So now what I am doing is I am just creating um, I'm creating one HR case record. Okay, I am updating the category field. So now the record is created into the database, guys. Now the record created into the database. So after record created into the database, after business rules will run. So let me give you one use case, guys. Let me give you one use case. So whenever the HR case is successfully created into the database, I have to create a incident record in the incident table. Whenever the HR case successfully created whenever HR case successfully created into the database, I have to create a incident record in the incident table. So then what I have to do, once the HR case record is created, after business rules will run, right? So in the after business rule, I'll write a glide record to create the incident record. So now what I am doing is I am going to create a after business rule. Right click configure business rules. Okay, create incident. So once successfully HR case record is created into the database, only then we have to create a record, right? That is why I am choosing after business rule. Okay, select the advanced checkbox. I'm choosing after business rules. After business rules will run once the data gets successfully, once the HR case successfully created into the database, after business rules will run. After insert, I have to choose. Okay. So here I have to write a glide record here. So using glide record, we can create the record in the incident table, right? Hmm? Using glide record, we can create the incident record in the incident table, right? So I am going to write glide record here, where gr nc is equal to new glide record incident table. I have to create an incident record in the incident table, right? Okay. Grinc dot initialize grinc dot insert. Okay, grinc dot insert. So here you have to fill the incident field value. Incident caller field name is caller underscore ID. Category, subcategory, short description, description, state, impact. So what should be the values here? Which caller value we have to pass? This HR case caller, this HR case caller should go to incident caller. This HR case short description should go to incident short description. This HR case description should go to incident description. This HR case state should go to incident state. Then what I am doing is I have current object available here, right? So current dot u underscore caller. Current dot u underscore category. Guys, remember these category choices, HR case category choices, and incident category choices both are not matching, right? So I am not taking HR case category here. I am just providing some random, some hard coded choice value. Okay, subcategory, email, short description. So current dot u underscore short description. Current dot u underscore description. Current dot u underscore state. Okay. Current dot u underscore impact. Current dot u underscore urgency. Okay. So these urgency, impact urgency choices are not matching with the incident impact urgency choices, right? So I'm giving some hard coded, I'm giving one here. Here also I'm giving one here. So what happens whenever the incident successfully, see, whenever you submit this form, before business tools will run, it will create the record into the database. Once the record created into the database, this after business tools will run. Suppose if the record is not created into the database, suppose record creation stopped at the before business tool level, then record will not be created, right? If the record is not created at the database, this after business tools won't run. This after business tools won't run, guys. Okay. So remember, using before business tools, we can stop the data processing, right? Suppose if we don't attach attachment here and data processing stopped here, okay, data processing has stopped here. What is this? So data processing has stopped here. If the data processing has stopped, it won't create the record here. If the record is not created here, this after business tool won't run. So only when the record created successfully here, then after business tools will run. So I created a after business tool, and it is actually insert operation. And here you are actually writing a glide record to create the incident record in the incident team. Okay. So, okay, that is fine. Once you create the HR case record, it will create an incident record. So it will create an incident record, right? So this business rule will create the incident record, right? That incident number should be updated again into the database. That means I have to update the database second time. I have to update the second. See, you will submit the form before business rules will run. The record will be created into the database. After business rules will run, it will create the incident record. So I have to update the incident number again in the database. So in that case, what I am doing is I am storing the created incident system ID in a variable where sysID is equal to, okay, current dot u underscore incident. There is an incident field in the HR case form here. there is an incident field in the HR case form, u underscore incident. So current dot u underscore incident is equal to system ID. So I am using current dot, current dot update, current dot update. Guys, remember you this current dot update is actually updating the record second time. Updating the record second time. So when you are updating the record second time, there is a chance that the other scripts will be invoked. To avoid that, we have to use current dot set workflow false. Current dot set workflow. So this line will stop the other scripts running when it is updating the incident number in the record second time in the database. Okay. I just created a after business rule, guys. I'm just opening the form. Okay. So I did not attach the attachment. It will stop the record creation, right? So it is stopping the record creation. Record is not created into the database. If the record is not created into the database, after business rule won't run. The after business rule won't run. This after business rule will run only when the record is created. So here you see if the incident is created here and updated or not. No, right? I'm attaching the attachment now. I am attaching the attachment now. Okay. So now the record is created into the database. And you can see incident is created. After business rule has run, incident is created. That incident number is updated here. That incident number is updated here. Did you notice that, guys? Hmm? Okay. So remember this point. There is a okay. So as you all know, we have synchronous calls and asynchronous calls in ServiceNow. We have synchronous call and asynchronous calls. So after business rules are synchronous calls. Okay. After business rules are synchronous calls. So here, what exactly will happen is that the form will wait till total script get executed. Okay. So the form will wait this form whenever you create the record into the database. Okay. So after business rules will run in the after business rules, there is a line of script, right? The form will wait total this line of script is executed. So the if the farm is waiting, then there will be a performance issue, right? Then there will be a performance issue, right? Okay. So in that case, after business rule is actually causing some performance issue here, isn't it? After business rule is causing some performance issue. I'll show you the performance issue here, how exactly it will look like. I'll show you how exactly the performance issue will look like. Okay. So instead of one incident record, what am I doing is I am just creating, unmuting, I'm commenting this one. So instead of one incident record, I'm actually creating 2000 incidents using for loop. I am creating 2000 incidents. So the farm will wait till it creates 2000 incidents. Okay. Where I is equal to 0, I less than, I less than 2000 I plus plus. Okay. So now you can see here, guys, attaching the attachment, attaching the attachment. So I'm creating the record. Once I create the record, before business tools will run, record will create into the database. Then after business tool will run. Now you can see the farm is waiting. Now the farm is waiting or not? Did you notice this one, guys? The farm is waiting till it creates 2000 records, 2000 incidents. So that means the farm is waiting or not? So here after business rule is a synchronous call. That is why the farm is waiting till the script get executed. After business rule is a synchronous call. So it is not good practice to use after business rules if you have too much script. So here 2000 into 10. There are actually 10 lines of script, right? 2000 into 10. So 2000 into 10 means around 20,000 lines of script is there. So we have 20,000 lines of script is there, right? So if you use after business rule, the after business rule wait for this 20,000 lines of script to get executed. The after business rule will wait till the 20,000 lines of script get executed, guys. Okay. So that is why after business rule is not a good practice. After business rule is not a good practice. Okay. The farm is waiting here. Once 2000 incidents are created, then the farm control will be given back to you. So as an employee, as a developer, you know there is an after business rule that is running in the back end. But employees can't understand what is happening in the back end in service now, right? So now 2000 incident records are created. You will see now 2000 incident records are created. You can see these 2000 incident records are created. Okay. So till the time it creates 2000 records, it is waiting here. Once 2000 records are created, the farm control is given back. So that is why if you have too much scripting, if you use after business rule, it will cause some performance issue. That is why it is not good practice to go for after business rule. So that is where we have asynchronous business rule will come. Okay, asynchronous business rule also will run once the data gets successfully stored into the database. Okay, once the data gets successfully stored into the database, and the asynchronous business rule will run. It will run asynchronously and it will not cause any performance issue. Now what I am doing is I am going to convert this particular business rule into synchronous business rule. Okay. I am going to create a I'm going to create a char case record. Okay. I am attaching the attachment, creating the record. So once this caller has okay. So is it causing any performance issue, guys? Is it causing any performance issue? Is the farm waiting for the script to be executed? But if you see, incidents are creating in the backend here. You can see how many incidents are there, 2,439. You can see 2,559. Incidents are creating in the backend or not? 2,653. 2,737. 2,805. So here the farm is not waiting here. The farm is not waiting here because after business rule runs synchronously, asynchronous business rule runs asynchronously. So the farm will wait when you use synchronous calls, and farm will not wait when you use asynchronous calls. When you are using asynchronous business rule, the farm is not waiting here, but the incidents are getting created in the back end. Did you notice this one, guys? Okay. So the incidents are getting created in the back end. So that is how incidents are actually created in the back end. So guys, remember one thing, how the incidents are creating in the back end. So when see, you submitted the form before business rule has run, record is created into the database, and async business rule has run. So this async business rule is actually creating the records in the back end. It is not actually holding the form. The form is not waiting till the script get executed. What is happening is that when the async business rule has run, what is happening is that, let me just show you. It has created 2000 records. Let me do one thing. Let me create one more HR case record. Attaching the attachment. I am trying to submit the form. Able tutor. Okay. So if you see here, the async business rule has run. Async business rule is actually creating the incident records in the backend. So when async business rule has run, there will be a system scheduler that will get created. So go to the system scheduler. The system scheduler, there is a scheduled job. Okay. You can just type async. So async create new. This is the business rule name. So whenever async business rule is triggered, a job will be created. A job will be created. This job is actually executing the script in the back end. This is the job ID. This job is actually executing the script in the back end. Okay. So once script execution is completed, this job will be deleted automatically. Once script execution is completed, this job will be deleted automatically, guys. Okay. Still it is running. It is creating the incident records in the backend. Yes, we can delete it. You can delete this job. If you delete the job, you can stop in the middle. If you delete this particular job, you can stop in the middle. Okay. So remember this point. Whenever you submit the form, before business rules will run, and once the record is created, this async business rule will run. Once the async business rule has run, it will create a system scheduler. So that scheduler will take care of the script execution in the back end. Okay. So guys, definitely there will be a question in the interviews. What is the difference between after business rule and async business rules? So you have to answer that both the business rules will run once the record gets successfully stored into the database. So both business rules will run once the record stored into the database successfully. That is the first point. So difference between after business rule and async business rule. Okay. Okay. After business rule runs synchronously, sync synchronously. Okay. And the form will wait when we use when we use after business rules. Okay. Form will not wait when we use business rules. Okay, fine. Async business rule, when async business rule will run, async business rule runs. Okay, system scheduler will get created. System scheduler will get created. Okay, a job will run the script in the background so that it will not cause any performance issue. Okay, it will not cause any performance issue. Guys, but there is a disadvantage with the async business rule, guys. So now you tell me out of so far you tell me out of after business rule and async business rule, which one is good practice? Out of after business rule and async business rule, which one is good practice? So out of these, asynchronous business rule is a asynchronous business rule is a good practice. Very good answer. Okay. But guys, there is a disadvantage with the asynchronous business rule. What is the disadvantage with the asynchronous business rule? If you go here, the asynchronous business rule, you can't access previous values. You can't access previous values in the asynchronous business rules, guys. That is the problem. Okay. So you can access only current values. You can see null when async. Null when async. So you can't access previous values in the async business rule. You can access only current values in the async business. What is the disadvantage? What is the disadvantage in the async business rule? Okay, that is fine, guys. But in the after business rule, you have current values access, you have previous values access, both values access you have. So that means you have current values access and previous values, both the values access in the after business rule. But when it comes to the async business rule, you have only current values access. You don't have previous values access in the asynchronous business rule. Okay. Okay. I have a scenario, guys. I have a scenario. What is that scenario? I'll show you. I am going to the problem table. I am going to the problem.list. Okay. This particular problem has, so to this particular problem, I am attaching I am attaching how many incidents are attached? 20 incidents. I am attaching 6,000 incidents. Add all. So this problem has associated 6,000 incidents associated, guys. So this problem has 6,000 incidents associated. That means 6,000 incidents attached here. Okay. Once it is done, I'll continue, guys. Okay. Let us imagine we have 2,000 incidents, guys. We have only 20 incidents. Let us imagine we have 2,000 incidents. It is taking too much time to load the incidents. Okay, we'll close this one. We'll open another one. What has happened? No, not really. We have to close the instance and open back, guys. There is an issue with this instance. Okay, let us go theoretically, guys. I don't want to waste the time. In the after business rule, you have both the current object access, you have previous object access. Okay, but it is a synchronous call. When it comes to the async business rule, you have only current object available, but you don't have previous object available, but it is a asynchronous call. It's an asynchronous call. In the after business rule, you have current object available, you have previous object available, but it is a synchronous call, guys. It is a synchronous call. But when it comes to the async business rule, you have only current object available and it is a asynchronous call. Guys, I have a requirement. I have a requirement. This problem, if problem is opened, I can actually, okay. Now it has opened. This problem has how many associated incidents? There are 2,500 associated incidents are there, guys. Okay. There are 2,500 incidents are associated. Whenever I change the state to new to SS, okay, let me assign it to problem analyzers group. Okay. And I am assigning it to someone. Now what is happening? Now the state is changing from new to SS. Now the state is changing from new to SS. Okay. So here that means SS is the current value. Current dot state means SS. Previous dot state means new. So here current state is SS. Previous state is new. Okay. So here whenever the state changes, whenever the state changes here, whenever the state changes into database, here the associated incidents, here in the associated incidents additional comments, Problem state is changed from new to SS. Problem state is changed from, so that means I have to pass previous state and current state value to this particular associated incidents. I have to pass previous previous state value, current state value to associated incident additional comments. Guys, okay, what I will do, I'll write a after business rule here, right click, configure, go to business rules. So I'm creating a business rule on the problem table, guys. I'll write the logic here. So when state changes, when state changes, after update, state changes, state changes. Okay. So here what I have to do, here you have both current object and previous object access. What you will do, you will write a glide record here. You will write a glide record on the incident table where problem ID, problem ID is current system ID. Okay, problem ID is current system ID. Okay. So while PR dot comments is equal to state changed from plus previous dot state, previous dot display value, state plus 2 plus current dot get display value state, and you will actually update it using gr dot update. But after business rule is a synchronous call, right? We have to update 2500 incidents, right? So then farm will be freezed or not? You tell me. Farm will be freezed or not? Guys, tell me. After business rule is after business rule is a synchronous business rule. Okay. So we are actually querying 2500 records here. Okay, we are querying 2500 record 2500 incidents. So every incident additional comments you are updating here. Every incident additional comments you are updating with the previous value, previous state value, and current state value. Definitely there will be a performance issue or not, you tell me here. So let me just change the state to, let me just change the state from SS to root cause analysis. You can see the farm is freezed or not. The farm is freezed or not, guys. So there will be a performance issue here. Okay. As there is a performance issue, then we have to go for asynchronous business rule here. What has happened again? So here we cannot use here the after business rule. Then we should go for async business rule. If you go for async business rule, but you don't have previous state value access, right? You don't have previous state value access, right? Then if you use after business rule, it is actually working synchronously. If you use asynchronous business rule, previous values access is not available. Then what should we do in this case? What should we do in this case? Hmm? So that is where there is a concept called script actions concept will come into picture, guys. That is where there will be another concept called script actions will concept will come into picture. Script actions. Okay. Okay. So that script actions concept you won't be able to understand now. So to make you understand the script actions concept, I have to explain about event concept. Okay. To make you understand about script actions concept, I have to explain about another concept called events concept. So what exactly the solution here is that, guys, it is still not completed. So this is what will happen, guys, when there is a performance issue. When there is a performance issue, this is what will happen. Okay. So then what is the solution? Let me tell you the solution here. So finally, we will go for after business rule only. Finally, we will go for after business rule. Why do we go for after business rule? Because if you go for asynchronous business rule, you don't have previous state value access. That is why we'll go for after business rule only. If you go for after business rule, what will happen? It will run synchronously. So to make after business rule running synchronously, we will use script actions concept. To make after business rule running asynchronously, after business rule by default runs synchronously, right? To make after business rule run asynchronously, we will use script actions concept. So the script actions will run the script asynchronously. Okay, the script actions will run, it will run synchronously. Do you understand, guys? Hmm? Everyone? Without applying the rules, I didn't understand your question, Krishna. I am unmuting you. You can start asking your questions.
Sir, hello.
Yes, please.
Actually, we are after applying only, we are knowing that it's going to take too much time that after business rule. So how can we know before applying that it is suitable for that action or not business rule?
See, first of all, we will understand. We will understand. Um, we can attach multiple incidents here, right? We can attach multiple incidents here. There are multiple incidents. Then if you use after business rule, it will run synchronously, right? So then what we have to do, if we are not using any previous value, directly we'll go for sync. See, it is best practice to use always asynchronous calls. It is always best practice to use asynchronous calls. So here what we are doing, we are creating the after business rule only, but we are running the script asynchronously. Okay. So Krishna, the answer to your question is we should always prefer to choose asynchronous calls.
Running the script synchronously means what, sir? I don't understand.
See, we have two things in service now, guys. We have two things in service now. Whenever the form is loaded, okay. So if you write synchronous script, the form will wait till you execute that script. Okay. So whenever the form is refreshed, okay, the form will wait till the script execution is completed. That is a synchronous call. So if you write asynchronous script, whenever you refresh the form will not wait. The script will be running in the backend. That is an asynchronous call. Whenever you
Okay.
refresh the form, see, you wrote a synchronous script, guys. Whenever you refresh the form, so what the form will wait to run the synchronous script. Once the synchronous script is executed, then form will be loaded. So when you write asynchronous script, whenever you refresh the form will be refreshed first. The asynchronous script will be running in the backend.
Like now, performance issue that you showed, right, sir?
Yes,
Don't show any performance issue, it will run in the background.
yes. So in
Okay.
ServiceNow or in anywhere in any development, it is best practice to use asynchronous calls. Okay,
Okay.
Joshua, any questions? Vamsi, Prithvi.
Yeah, Uday, one simple thing like that incident table, that problem ID column field added, right? So that will be added after we adding all the incidents to problem.
I didn't understand your question, Vamsi.
In the script we took the incident as source, right? And here filter problem ID, right?
There is
So
a in the incident table. There is a field called problem ID field.
okay, this will be created. We are adding incidents to the problem, or it will be before itself.
See, whenever you add a incidents to the problem, right? Whenever
That
you
yes,
whenever
yes.
you add incidents to the problem, right?
Ha,
That
ha, ha.
problem number will be updated in the problem ID field.
Okay, okay, okay. So that will be out of box column,
Yes,
Uday,
out,
like
out, out of the box column only.
okay, okay, okay. Got it.
This is the problem field. The problem field name is problem underscore ID.
Will be there, but whenever we added incidents to the
Yes,
problem, those IDs will. Okay, okay.
yes.
Got it. Thanks.
So you guys are able to understand the business rules concept easily, guys. Is it interesting?
Yes,
Interesting?
Uday, actually,
Mm. Yes, sir.
I have a question in scripting part, like one scenario-based question.
Yes.
Actually, I need to create a group and I need to add the permission, like ITL admin and ITL role in that group.
Uh,
So for that, what I need to do?
Using script or manually?
Using a script.
So first of all, you have to create a record in the group table. Okay.
Okay.
You have to create a record in the group table. This underscore user underscore group. Okay. Gr dot initialize gr dot set value name UCS group I am keeping. UCS group. Gr dot set value description. Okay. Text group. Gr dot set value email ucs@example.com. Gr dot insert. It will create the record, right? It will create a group
Yes,
record, UCS group record.
Yeah.
So once a group record is created, you will store that group record system ID in a variable where DRP system ID. Okay. So you have to add a role to the group, right? To add a
Yes,
role
sir.
to the group, you have to create a record in the sys group has role table where uh, gr grp role table, group role table, new glide record. Okay, there is a table called sys group has role table. Sys underscore group underscore has underscore role. Okay. So in this table, there are two fields. One is group field. Group is a reference field, guys. In the reference field, I am passing created group system ID. Okay. That is one thing. Gr group role dot set value. There is a role field. In the role field, you have to pass ITIL role system ID. Okay. ITIL role system ID. The system ID of the ITIL role. Because role table role is actually a reference field in the this group has role table. Dot insert. Okay. So finally, it will create a group and then it will add the role. ITIL
Okay.
role. Let me just run this particular script. Okay. So we'll go to the group table. Sys underscore user underscore group underscore list.do. You can see UCS group is created. Okay. This group ITIL role is added or not, you will see here. ITIL role is added or not.
Yeah.
So if you want to add ITIL admin role, copy the system ID, just paste the, okay, group is already created, right? The group system ID here. So now you are adding ITIL admin role to the group now. So in the UCS group, ITIL admin role is added or not, you will see here. ITIL admin role is added or not.
Yes.
So that is how you will create the group and you will add the roles using scripting.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions from anyone, guys? Prithvi?
Hello.
Hi, Prithvi. Hi, Basuraj.
Yeah, hello there. Good evening.
I reviewed your resume and then sent the response to you, Basuraj.
No, Uday, I didn't send any resume or thing.
We have another Basuraj here.
I don't know. I think I'm the only one.
No.
Okay, then it's not me.
We have two Prithvis here, Prithvi Raj and Prithvi. Prithvi, you are not even opening your mouth, man, these days. Okay, keep up your good work, guys, and I would request you to go through the business tools concept 3 to 4 times, okay? And we'll be discussing display business tools concept in tomorrow's session, okay?
Uday, I need like to connect with you 5 minutes, Uday. Like some suggestion I
Yeah,
need.
you give me a call on my mobile.
Okay.
Fine. Yeah. Thank you, guys, and see you there in tomorrow's session. Thank you, everyone.